Hey, what's up? Jerry here from DrivingAnswers.com, and I'm going to show you how to forward park for your driving assessment. Okay, now you're guaranteed a forward park for your test, and I'm going to be doing another version of the forward park as well. Alright? Okay, now when I drive into the car park, alright, or when you drive into the car park for your driving test, alright, like I said before, in the reverse parks, you want to pick a parking bay relatively quickly, right? So you're not driving around, wasting time, getting marked down. Okay, when I do a forward park, I always pick a parking bay on the opposite side of the road. Reason why is because it's easier. Okay, it's so much easier picking a parking bay on the opposite side of the road for a forward park, because the turning circle's a lot wider and you can drive in a lot straighter. So here we go. It's a lot easier picking a parking bay on the opposite side of the road than it is to pick a bay on the same side of the road. You'll drive in, 9 times out of 10 you'll end up on an angle like that. Then you've got to reverse back, drive back in, boom, correction used, then you've got to ace your reverse park. Right, so save yourself the trouble, make it easy for yourself, and pick a parking bay on the opposite side of the road. Okay, so much easier. I get so many students picking bays on the same side. From and I go, why'd you pick a parking bay there? What's easier? And then they always point to the opposite side of the road. I go, well, why didn't you park there then? They go, I don't know. Right, so when I come into the parking lot, my right signal is on. Okay, so right signal, right blind spot. Right, okay, so I'm driving up, my right signal comes on 30 metres before, or 3 seconds. Now, from the start of the car park to the bay that you've selected may not be 30 metres. Alright, fair question. Okay, if it's not 30 metres, it could be 15 metres. So then your right signal needs to be on for at least 3 seconds, okay, before you turn. Alright, so I'm driving up, and then for a forward park I make sure I get well left. Okay, you don't want to be crossing the bays here, so get well left. The reason why I get well left is because, again, the turning circle is a lot wider and it's a lot easier to drive in. If I'm too close to the centre, then my turning circle may not be wide enough and I may end up on an angle. Okay, so save yourself the trouble, get well left and pick a parking bay on the opposite side of the road. Alright, so I'm driving up, my right signal is on for at least 30 metres or 3 seconds. Now I level my front bumper up with the first line of the bay that I've selected, okay, which is parking bay X. Now this is line number 1. And that's line number 2. Alright? Now my front bumper's lined up or level with line number 1. And so my right signal's on. I've given my right blind spot. Okay, because if you do a right blind spot, there could be like a cyclist or a pedestrian walking through on the inside of the car here. Alright, so you always want to give a right blind spot check. Alright, so right signal, right blind spot before I start turning. Okay, now I want to aim my right headlight to the corner of line number 2. Alright, so I'm turning my car and my right headlight's pointing to the corner of line number 2, and then I keep turning the vehicle till my left headlight is pointing at the corner of line number 2. Alright, so I'll slide that, and then pretty straightforward from there. I straighten up the car and I drive straight into the bay there. So there we go. Forward parks, that's exactly how they want it for your test, and that is the best way to do a forward park. But I'm going to be doing another version of the forward parks in the next tutorial. Alright, there it is, DrivingAnswers.com. Drive safe.